Hello, it's me again, back with another drawing recap, only this time for March. This time around, I did sketches with using some very old coloring pencils, and I'll be showing some of the drawings I've done during the live streams. Stick around to the video, especially towards the end, where I'll be showing you the pencils themselves. Enjoy! Ooh. Alright, so this is going to be the March digital drawing recap videos. I, for some reason, could not remember exactly what I've done, so I had to go through my live streams to see what it was that I did digital drawings of, and that hasn't really been that helpful, to be honest. Anyway, what I think I might have done was done some work on some of these mini drawings of Boxhead. Basically, I some of these sketches I sort of refined. I'm not going to show all of them, but I plan on doing more of them later. And then at the beginning of the month, I did a portrait drawing. So I did another portrait 30. This still is not finished. I'm still continuing to add more onto this. I'm at a point now where every changes I make doesn't seem to make that much of a big difference. Certainly, it is a massive difference when you look at it from the sketch onto the final piece. That is currently still work in progress. Actually, let's keep that around. And then I think I started this on the 8th. I titled it on the 8th. I had this idea in my head, and I tried thumbnailing a few ideas, but was this anything? I don't know. Thumbnailing a few ideas, and nothing sort of came out of it in the end. But at least it's down on paper, and I could come back to this sometime in the future. And then on the 22nd, I did 2 drawings. Yeah, this one started out as a random warm-up sketch drawing that turned out to be a piece that I kind of like. I wasn't sure what it was I was going after, but I do like the sort of rough sketch markings. Kind of gives me the impression of a grungy look. I guess I could have added some grungy textures to it somehow. Ignore this finger. I have no idea how much to get that bent. I could use this as a profile picture. In fact, I'm thinking about changing my profile picture to this. Who knows? And then on the same day, I did another portrait picture. This was the initial sketch, portrait 31, and then recently I tried fixing up a bit. You know, the side of the face isn't correct there compared to this, which I think is a bit more correct, I suppose, if I could use the term. And then I thought for this time round, let me try doing a line art on top of this. Now, I'm not good at line art. I absolutely hate and detest doing line art, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. But you know, it's one of those things where unless you work at it, you're not going to get any better. I can still complain while doing this line art thing. Anyway, so the goal is, if I close this, I'm going to continue working off portrait 30 because I think I've, it's come quite a long way, and I intend on adding color to this. And while I do that, I'll also add more to portrait 31, and the next picture I would like to do a full figure picture or a character sketch of some kind, and yeah, that's it. So I had an old box of coloring pencils that I bought ages ago. I've never used, so what you're seeing here is probably the first time I've ever used this box of pencils. The coloring pencils themselves aren't that great, and you can see in the video that I had to push really hard just to get some decent shading out of them. So the first thing I sketched was a goldfish. This goldfish was on the box of the pencils, and it came out okay, but depending on the lighting you can see quite a bit of bloom in person. And below that I drew a Siamese fighting fish. I thought they looked pretty cool. The next page after I drew more fish, I think it's a cloud or a discus fish. That kind of looked like a Pokemon, and I can't quite remember what the black and yellow fish was, but as I zoom in a bit, I drew the fish into different shapes. I don't know why, but I thought it'd be pretty funny. The next page here, I did a bunch of skin tone on spheres. I wanted to see if I could color skin tones with these coloring pencils, but it was quite hard to get the shading right. The problem is that I think it's not just the coloring pencils but the paper itself as well. It doesn't really lend too well to holding the pigment, and when you try to shade two colors together, because of the waxy feel, I don't know if it is wax or it could be oil, but wherever it is, it glides over the previously laid color. And then on this final page, I tried combining the fishes that I drew, so goldfish, catfish, and the Siamese fighting fish, into this one weird hybrid looking fish. Then it was just a bunch of forms, and I tried doing some face sketches from a Frank Cho book, but I didn't really commit too much to it anyway. And here are the box of coloring pencils I was using for these drawings. I bought them a long time ago, but I never used them until now. They're not that good, if I'm being honest, but for practicing, they seem to be okay. Let me show you what's like when using them. Sketching with them seems to be fine. It's when I try to color with them where it feels a bit too smooth, and trying to blend with them with another color is a bit difficult. I find that I have to push into the paper quite firm, and the result isn't anything too impressive.